And with the holidays coming up, the El Paso District Attorney's Office is urging the community to be safe on the road. The DA's office continues to prosecute an alarming number of DWI cases, even more so during the holiday season. And joining us now to further this conversation on DWIs is El Paso District Attorney James Montoya. Mr. Montoya, thank you for being with us here today. Back in May, we saw your office along with the Sheriff's Office, the Police Department, the Mayor, the County Judge, everyone really coming together to talk about the increasing number that we have seen in DWIs. We're now 6 months removed from that. The holidays are right around the corner. What are some of the trends that your office is sort of seeing right now?
Well, thanks for having me, Andy. I will tell you, we're still on track for basically the same number of DWIs that we have seen in recent years. On average, our office charges over 2,000 El Pasoans with DWI. About 250 to 300 of those are repeat or felony DWI offenses. You know, we're still on track for that. And I will tell you, you know, the more resources that law enforcement dedicates to being out on the streets to patrolling, you know, we're going to see more. I mean, you know, MAD estimates that somebody drunk drives 80 times before they are arrested. And so, you know, the more resources that law enforcement you know, has to address the problem, I actually think we're going to be catching more offenders, and so we're going to be seeing more cases.
You just mentioned your office charges over 2,000 cases every year, and I know of those, 300 of those, up to 300 are even repeat offenders. How exactly does your office prosecute DWIs, and are those consequences, are they enough, in your opinion, to deter people from drinking and driving?
Yeah, so, you know, for a first-time DWI, under the laws of the state of Texas, the maximum punishment is 180 days in jail, 6 months. For a second DWI, the maximum punishment is 1 year in the county jail or 24 months of probation. That's for misdemeanor DWI. For someone that commits a third DWI or more, or if they're committing DWI after they've been convicted 2 times, the punishment ranges from 2 years to 10 years in prison or up to 10 years of probation. I will tell you, you know, we need El Pasoans to show up to jury duty, to listen to these cases and tell us what these cases are worth, what the punishment the community wants to see. When someone shows up for jury duty, a lot of people don't realize that here in the state of Texas, juries are the ones that assess the punishment. And so if the jury tells us this is what we want you to punish, this particular type of crime, we need you all to show up and tell us that. Listen to the facts, listen to the evidence, and tell us how this community feels about this particular offense. I will tell you, when we take first-time DWIs to trial, the punishment that is often assessed is probation. And so when we're resolving these cases without trials, the punishment is often probation. And so we need people to show up to jury duty and tell us how this community feels about it. I will tell you that I don't think we're going to arrest our way out of DWI. I don't think we're going to prosecute our way out of this problem. You know, that's Chief Pasoans made that comment, you know, 6 months ago at that press conference. You know, this is something that is going to require a whole of community effort to address. You know, we have, of course, DWI arrests happening, people leaving bars, people who are out and about, but we also have DWI cases where people are leaving baby showers or family parties. You know, they are with people that they know and love and care about them, that know that they're getting intoxicated, that know they're getting behind a wheel. And so we need people to step up and let the people that they see around them know that this is unacceptable behavior.
I mentioned that the holidays, with that coming up, is there an increase in drunk drivers on the road, or is this a year-round problem?
You know, and it's a year-round problem. It's a statewide problem. This isn't even just localized to El Paso. Texas has a DWI problem. You know, there are some states where second-time DWI is a felony. I think that's a conversation that we should start having here in Texas. You know, at this point, it takes your third 2 convictions and your 3rd DWI is a felony. Maybe our legislature should consider changing that. I will tell you, in this season, there's a lot of celebrations, there's a lot of revelry, people are getting together. We do see DWIs happen at this time, but it's also, again, because law enforcement is sending more resources, they're on the road more. I know there's going to be a surge of law enforcement during the holidays. Thanksgiving Eve is a notorious day for DWI. People are visiting from town, they're visiting friends and family. Several years ago, Amanda Ferguson killed on Thanksgiving. Several years ago, Joshua and Isaiah Deal, Shannon Del Rio, killed on Christmas Eve morning. Valerie Talamantes killed, a few days before New Year's Eve many years ago. This is a time that should be for celebration, should be for gathering, but for many El Paso families, it's a very painful time to remember what happened. It's very painful that there is an empty chair at that Thanksgiving table, that there is one less person opening gifts on Christmas. And so, just my message is for people to think about that before they choose to drink and drive. This is a choice. This is a crime that is 100% preventable. I am certain that nobody sets out wanting to kill anybody doing this. And so they just need to make better choices. They need to make a plan before they go out and partake in these alcoholic beverages.
Real quick, Mr. Montoya, just your message for El Pasoans. Unfortunately, I think just in our conversation here, DWIs, they've become so common. I don't know if there's necessarily a societal acceptance of them, but maybe just a mindset that this just happens, which is unacceptable. So how do we kind of break away from that?
Yeah, there are, the people that commit DWI run the gamut. I mean, we have people that are educated, that have jobs, that people that don't think of themselves as bad people who still commit this crime, right? I don't think anybody that commits DWI, in their mind, they know better, they're making a choice. I mean, MAD has been around since the 80s, and we have to keep reminding people that this is a very dangerous crime that threatens not only the person committing it, but the people around them. I think this is a community that cares about its members. And again, we want people to be looking out for each other and preventing this crime from even happening in the first place. In this day and age, in 2025, heading into 2026, with the proliferation of rideshare services, the fact that people are still getting behind the wheel when they've had too much to drink is really unacceptable. It's inexcusable.
Excellent point right there. Mr. Montoya, thank you so much for taking the time with us on this important topic. We always appreciate your insight.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
All right, El Paso District Attorney James Montoya.